Oh boy. I don't know about you, but with all this artificial intelligence talk, it definitely seems we're in for a little bit of a tumultuous future.
An extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So,
in the United States?
In the United States, all over the world.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so to me, there are two purposes. You have...
Yeah, as what is that near extinction event going to be? As our economy is teetering on collapse, as now Toyota is literally doing subscriptions for keys. Yep, you heard that correctly. As Alex Jones broke down how you will own nothing and be happy is the direct type of direction the world is heading into, as we are seeing everything gamified, everything put up into the digital identification system, as he describes the World Economic Forum globalist plan for total domination of all free humanity. He then talks about how Trump signed an executive order creating, quote, a federal dictatorship over AI, as he is making arguments to why that potentially might be a good thing, as others see Donald Trump as building the prison surveillance grid system that will soon be used against all of us, especially when Democrats come into power. What is really behind this executive order, this action, and a lot of this hyperbolic, crazy, insane talk about doomsday bunkers, AI apocalypses, the economy being wrecked? Well, we're going to be talking about that and a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like these conversations, subscribe. We definitely appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Now, Toyota, by the way, just announced that for 1 year, you get free built-in navigation. Oh, free 1 year remote start from your phone. You want Spotify? That's going to be another subscription. Wi-Fi, another subscription. You want to use the console? A subscription. Yeah, you heard that correctly. This is the insanity that we're heading into, as the economy is definitely in for correction, and the globalists are going to use this as a perfect opportunity not only to track, trace, and database you, but put you on payment plans and subscription models for virtually everything. And this is the type of predatory capital market that we're under, that essentially is ushering in a communistic style dictatorship right under our noses.
Toyota is charging us $600 a year to keep all of our functions on our 2025 Camry after we've owned it for a year. Let's go ahead and dive into what it is. Well, everything's a subscription nowadays, so it shouldn't be too surprising that cars are now wanting a subscription as well. And after a year, Toyota expires some of the vehicle functions. So
yeah, you want to use your navigation? Oh, you got to pay for that. Oh, you want the key fob to work on your phone? Subscription. Absolutely insane. Alex Jones broke this down, talking about the push for planetary AI dictatorships that will make humans obsolete and definitely rob them of any kind of financial security or future in the next coming months and years.
Argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
You do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections?
This is what Catherine Austin Fitts was talking about. We interviewed her about this, and she says, listen, Trump set up the AI kind of apparatuses to the point where the elites won't even need them anymore. She even suggested that they're going to try to maybe take him out at the end of this year. She said this a couple months ago with the Epstein stuff, because he's no longer needed, because the AI already has everything it needs to be sentient, along with its people who control it, that now have almost everything they need for full and utter control of all of humanity.
Because we know what the result will be.
Our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, is that we penetrate the cabinets.
You want the function, you want the service, right? Why you want to own a cell phone if you can just lease it? And if you lease, why shouldn't you lease your refrigerator or your washing machine or your dishwasher or Why do you want to own it?
Yeah, why do you want to own anything? As, of course, the World Economic Forum literally talked about how you will own nothing, have no privacy, and you will be happier than ever. Why? Because mostly you'll be kind of prescribed these type of insane prescriptions that will rewire your brain to accept the human slavery and the cattle treatment that you are forced into slowly and surely. And of course, a lot of the subscription models of almost everything right now do highlight not just the predatory nature of these private equity groups that are pillaging anything good and holy anymore, but more importantly, creating a system where you need to have these credits, as of course the next few plans are getting rid of currency, getting rid of cash, and if you don't have cash to buy stuff with, you of course are then able to be more perfectly controlled because everything will now be on credits. And that's what they described moving forward. We're going to play the rest of this clip as well as Alex's type of breakdown on Trump's executive order here, which he seems to be talking himself into, literally. Before we talk about that and a lot more, check out thebestpoliticalshirts.com, where you can get amazing shirts like the one that I'm wearing right now. This one reads, "It's not the news, it's an establishment press release." It's a hard pill to swallow. I had another shirt earlier on today that says, but still autistic. Let me see if I could help to find that shirt, which I think you got to type it in exactly. And hold on one second. And it's great to have these type of conversations with random people that you could have just by simply wearing a t-shirt. We got a lot of great holiday shirts. Get them right now before the holidays. Be the talk of the holiday party. It's amazing to wear these shirts out there in the general public. It's a great way to start conversations. It's a great way to, this is it right here. This is the shirt that I was wearing at Art Basel here in Miami, and everyone's like, "I love it, I love it." I'm like, well, it's like a wink and a nod for the people who pay attention to what's going on and are chronically online that somehow maybe venture out of their homes. And t-shirts like this are a great way to do your own lazy form of activism, start conversations, and also, most importantly, not be afraid to express your full truths. Life is too short, and I think it's important to express yourself, especially when you still can, before the World Economic Forum, the AI globalists, and the technocrats make it illegal for you to express things that aren't socially acceptable to them.
I propose putting an end to anonymity on social media.
Yep, and that's what they're doing with the Real ID. And then Alex kind of described, they're pushing all these laws in Texas and Florida where you now have to have identification in order to go on certain websites. We need to literally provide your ID. Now we have national ID that Donald Trump passed. Now he has facial recognition that he's passing. And I'm like, this is so awful. This is so horrible because it's literally building the kind of prison grid system all around us, as the feds have a horrible track record of keeping your data secure and private. Right? And people are like, what? You care about your privacy? And I'm like, no, I care about my safety. And when people know anything and everything about you at a couple click of a button, there's a reason there's like data protection agencies out there that are now raking in a bunch of money. Any of them want to sponsor me, let me know. Email us, info@wearechange.org. Anyway, anonymity is something that we need to protect. Jordan Peterson hates anonymity. I love it. And I think we need more of it in this new day and age where people should be able to say whatever they want.
But if 1 billion people stop eating meat, I tell you, it has a big impact.
Yeah, big impact, because they don't want you to eat meat. They don't want you to be strong. They don't want you to be healthy. And they released a whole bunch of propaganda as they're investing in, like, oh, look at this seed oil bug slop that we're going to feed you. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Yeah, we're heavily invested in that. Eat up all the lectins. Eat up all the fake bioengineered food from cancer cells. That's going to be, you're going to love that because you're not going to be able to afford anything else. And that's a perfect way to attack people's health, attack people's sovereignty, because when they're not healthy, they can't fight back. They can't stand up for themselves. They can't be enslaved.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains? And we measure your brain waves.
There's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. People believing that they've been at Disney World with characters who are not Disney characters, taking photographs with those characters.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You just take a little brain chip, put on your VR headset in your pod. Don't come out. As of course, humans are obsolete. We don't need you guys anymore. And look. You're unhealthy. Oh, look at that. Oh, you have a shortened life. Oh, look at that. How convenient for the rich people to live forever.
Substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
Yep. That's the goal. It's like, hey, there's not enough people. Oh, let the machines kind of take over. Perfect. As, of course, a lot of people are now, even hypothetically, talking about how a lot of the billionaires have these bunkers, not because of some kind of cataclysmic world-ending type of event, but predominantly because they believe there's going to be a lot of social upheaval, and they want to make people stupid and weak and dumb and divided and conquered and fighting against each other as the globalists, the internationalists, the very powerful people take over society for their own liking. And people are talking about how a lot of them have the bunkers because they understand that, hey, the job numbers are horrible now. They haven't been released, but they're pretty awful with how many people are losing their job and getting wrecked during a period in time where the economy is supposed to be going up. It's actually going down. You could see that, especially reflected with our viewership, but also our ad rates. The ad money isn't the same like it used to be. We used to make a lot of our money this time of year. I lost money last November, and I worked my butt off, and I faced massive security threats for doing so, making me question, what the hell am I doing here? Again, did I tell you about the bestpoliticalshorts.com? Anyway, let's continue on in this particular conversation, because when you look at this type of end game, when you look at all of the things that they're kind of pushing forward, that they're utilizing, that they're implementing, it all is kind of coalesced towards total power, total domination, something that we should be speaking out against immediately and setting up safeguards for civil liberties and privacy. And we're not doing any of that. And Donald Trump is like marching us to the front lines, saying, well, China's going to do it. We got to do it before them. And I'm like, why are we playing the Chinese game?
Hell, it had so many amazing adventures and did so many beautiful things and so many ugly things. We are amazing. And we're part of this gorgeous, just perfect universe. Look at the moon.
Alex described how he had a beautiful moment in nature. And humanity is beautiful, but it is being subjugated. It is being controlled. As now, Trump signing an executive order, creating, quote, a federal dictatorship over AI development in the United States. Now, who's going to be building that? Well, probably Larry Ellison, probably Microsoft, probably with the ethos of individuals like Bill Gates, right? So when we look at that and how it's developing, it signals a lot of trouble for all of free, beautiful humanity.
The globalist plan is to build a post-industrial, anti-human world and to depopulate the entire planet of Homo sapiens sapien.
That's something that they prophesized and wrote about. Zbigniew Brzezinski literally talked about technocratic, machine, artificial type of intelligence systems reigning supreme over the entire world. And he literally wrote this. He was Rockefeller's right-hand man. They were working on the Trilateral Commission, CFR, Bilderberg Group, all these other kind of inner circle secret societies with the high echelons of all of society. And they were talking about this in the 70s, right? So they had the foresight to say this is going. And I remember reading their books and calling them out on their plans, being called a crazy conspiracy theorist. So I'm like, I'm not. I'm literally talking about what they're writing in their own playbooks.
The future's not human. We should just give up. It's all over. That's what the WEF says. It's what the IMF says, what the World Bank says, what they all say. You know, I played many of the clips, but I thought I'd dig some more out today. There's been some new ones that were made as well. So the globalists are technocrats, they're mad scientists. And They like
a lot of them are usually kind of captivated by this one universal energy that kind of shows its face every time throughout recorded human history as individuals want to dominate, control, subjugate, and be rulers of the world. A lot of people believe that's kind of a demonic force that is always kind of representing the fighters between good and evil throughout all of recorded human history. And there always are plagues of mental illness of these people being like, yeah, I'm going to control everything, everybody. It's a disease, in my personal opinion.
to think of themselves as gods up on Mount Olympus.
And they understand they failed because all these despots always try to forcibly put the handcuffs on them. Now we are undergoing fourth and fifth forms of generational warfare where people are putting the handcuffs on themselves. And they're saying, whoa, yeah, this is easy. This is nice. This is so convenient. And in the beginning it is, and that's how they trick you. And that's how they trap you with that cheese. You look at that cheese, you're like, wow, it's a wonderful cheese. It's a free cheese. And of course, if something's free, you're the product. And then you go for that cheese and you're in a total surveillance technocratic grid with a social credit score where you fart or speak up the wrong way or express an opinion that isn't acceptable towards the social controllers or the politicians allowing them to do what they're doing, as the politicians are soon going to become obsolete to these systems and these people, as they're allowing them to become as powerful as gods in this world. And then you're stuck. And there's no going back. That trap fell on you. What are you going to do?
And you can point out that industrialized society has made people pretty weak on average and lackadaisical, but that's an overgeneralization. There's still a lot of amazing, hardworking, dynamic people doing wonderful things and producing beautiful art and literature and culture. But regardless, it's not up to those of us that can look at decadent slobs at every level of society and decide to wipe them out, because you know where that leads. But that is where we're going. All the top futurists that the globalists push say the same thing.
Yep, total control, total subjugation, and of course firing people, getting rid of jobs and opportunities and allowing robots to work for them while cornering the financial markets for their own pure benefit as they're buying up all the homes, right? As zoning becomes more and more difficult, permitting becomes more and more difficult, insurance premiums keep going up and up and up, and then you're kind of left here looking around and be like, wow, I own nothing. I am being subjugated towards economic serfdom. As some people argue, the serfs had it better than we do now.
Wall Street Journal, looking forward to the end of humanity. New York Times, looking forward to the end of man.
Anti-humanist eugenicist scum. That's what a lot of these people are. They don't like for humanity. They don't like human beings, and they have an internal hatred for it, like almost everyone else throughout recorded human history that tried to subjugate and control them. As of course, human life prevails, grows. We have free will, free spirit. We have the ultimate test and challenge of man to make something of themselves in this life. But those opportunities are becoming less and less affordable and available to us.
You'll be in the grocery store checkout, see a magazine about it. So sexy. Yeah, there it is, looking forward to the end of humanity. This is their anti-nativist, that means anti-family, anti-human, anti-baby movement.
Yep, as they're literally telling you, don't have babies, it's selfish. And they're saying, but the Middle East, come on in, we're going to subsidize, we're going to make taxes so unaffordable, but those taxes are needed to bring in all those people from Africa and the Middle East that are reproducing like crazy, because you're going to pay for their reproduction, you're going to pay for their food, you're going to pay for their housing, you're going to pay for their babies, to the point where you won't be able to afford yours. And that's how sinister this, and then the person's going to be like, well, they're the problem. And then they have this perfect opportunity where people fight each other, and they don't look, they look left and right, but they don't look up. They don't look up who's pulling the strings and who's calling the shots and who's implementing this sinister anti-humanist agenda.
Elon Musk talked about hanging out with the founders of Google. He was very close to him. And Page and Brin. And they're like, yeah, you're a weirdo. You like humans. You like having kids. We don't care about humanity. We don't like humanity. And then even Bryn's ex-wife, very smart in her own right, she's come out recently and said, no, they all just sit around and talk about the end of humanity and the Great Reset. And then she was trying to donate tens of millions of dollars to help women in fertility and women with menstrual issues or whatever. So much of it's the chemicals in food and water. And the transhumanists came back to her and said, don't invest in that. Invest in artificial wombs. See, none of it's designed to help us. It's all being deployed to enslave us.
This, as fertility is going down, in my opinion, a form of fourth and fifth generational forms of warfare, soft kill weapons, eugenics operations that are currently ongoing that if you are unaware of, you're probably a victim of it. Anyway, I'm going to continue making videos about this, even though the AI is not going to like this, or YouTube. Again, our viewership down. Greatly appreciate all the people subscribing, watching, getting these videos out there. I literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that. Thank you so much for doing little things like buying a t-shirt and then having some fun in your life. Enjoy. And this is one of the reasons why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.